Hey, where's Al? Who cares?
I killed him.
Eh, who cares? Let him go die off in some corner somewhere. Anyways, yes, this is Kratzko's what episode number nine? Number
I
nine.
guess.
I
Let's
guess
go
it's
with 9.
yeah. We'll just say nine, and if it's not nine, then fuck it. It's still nine. So if there's two nines, this is nine number two. Anyways, uh,
Nine number 2.
yeah, we'll just call it nine number two. Anyways, so we've got three topics that I have in mind. Um, One of them is going to be off the fly, and I guess we'll start off with that one first. But I guess one will be the one that both Kristen and Dee of Black Cat Finland had touched upon, which was Ring of Honor talent in WWE. The
Wait,
other,
but before... Okay, no, continue. Sorry.
no, anyway,
Haven't gotten to that yet.
yeah, and the second one would be the aftermath of what we've seen after the CM Punk promo, the Raw after, or at least just the segments revolving around CM Punk. And the third one, I guess, we'll touch on as the first topic, but before we get to that, was there something you wanted to say?
No, I was going to say it when we get to the ROH topic.
Okay, we'll do that one second. But the first topic that I had in mind um, is I was watching kayfabe commentaries, wrestling most controversial moments, where they talk about the top 5 most controversial moments in wrestling history. And number 2, which was actually a surprising one. Well, not surprising, actually. That belongs on the list. As we all know, on May 23rd, 1999, the tragic death of Owen Hart came about when he was trying to do a stunt on the ceiling, trying to be like a superhero, and fell into the ring. And I hear so many stories. His neck hit the rope, his head hit the turnbuckle, 90 feet from the air, smack down to the ring. And they carted his... And mind you, this was on pay-per-view. And this is for anybody who wasn't watching at the time. He basically was supposed to make a flying entrance. He fell, and he hit his head onto the turnbuckle. And they had to stop the show for a certain period and have Jim Ross talk and just show camera angles of the audience to talk while they tried to get Owen Hart onto the gurney and carry him out to the hospital to see if they could revive him. Now, the reason why I didn't mention this to Kristen yet, until now, this is a live reaction to this, is here's my question to you, Kristen. Do you believe after that incident that the show should have gone on?
Are you asking emotionally or business wise?
Both.
Okay. Emotionally, it's a little insensitive. Business wise, you just had... I'm just going to put a number on it. I have no idea how many buy rates I had. Say you have like 10,000 people. I mean, granted, that's a low buy rate. Anyways, you have 10,000 people that just spent 40 bucks on your pay-per-view. Granted, someone has gotten hurt, but the entire roster is not hurt. So you would either A, have to refund all of those people's money because of stopping the pay-per-view, or B, just ended it and had a bunch of very, very pissed off people.
Hmm.
So business wise, yes, the show must go on, and but emotionally wise, I guess I could also see why people would have been outraged.
Is that it?
That's all I got unless I got something to respond to.
Okay, because the funny thing is that that's such a topic that's talked about even to this day, because Owen Hart, other than Chris Benoit, had the most shocking death in professional wrestling. And I guess it was more shocking at the fact that after he had fell from the ceiling, they continued on with the show. Now, mind you, his match was number 3, or was supposed to be number 3. He was supposed to face the Godfather for the Intercontinental title, where he was doing the gimmick, the Blue Blazer. And when they carted him out of the ring, I guess they didn't know, quote unquote, that he was dead, so they continued on by having a couple more matches. And right after, I think it was the Corporation versus the Union, that's when they announced to the whole world that he had died.
I don't think they should have announced it on pay-per-view.
Whether that was the case or not, I don't know. I mean, all I remember was it was right after the match. Mick Foley was just walking out, and then Jim Ross said, pretty much, I'm not going to say quote word for word, but pretty much he said that what had happened, and he had the unfortunate responsibility to let everyone know that he had passed away. I mean, to me, people were going to find out no matter what, so I guess...
Well, I'm sure they were going to find out. I just don't think it's appropriate to announce it on a pay-per-view.
Well, you also got to figure this. That was that was like spur-of-the-moment situation. I mean, the guy just fell from the ceiling, and you're...
Spur of the moment or not, it was not appropriate to announce that kind of thing on pay-per-view.
The way I see it is, I mean, yeah, you could say that, but the way I see it is when let's just say you're in Vince's shoes. This is for all the people who thought that the show shouldn't have gone on, or no, not. This is for the people who, like, get at Vince's throat because of this. People got to understand, Vince is a businessman. He's an owner of what was at the time a billion-dollar company. A man just fell. Your employee just fell and smacked his head onto the freaking ring post and could possibly be dead. You are now at the spur. It's not like where you could sit here for days and think of a way to solve this. You got to make a decision right there. Should the show go on or not? Bam. I think.
Well, the show should go on. I mean, if you go to work tomorrow and somebody injures themselves, say somebody just falls down, kills himself, and they get carted off, do you still have to go back to work? Yes.
Well, I think what people... I'm playing devil's advocate here. People... I think it's one thing if it was, like in the case of Brian Pillman, where he was found in his home. This was a case where Owen Hart died on pay-per-view in front of a live audience. So... I can sort of see why people didn't want the show to go on, but me... I virtually have no heart. I'm more of a business person. And in business-wise, yeah, the show has to go on. Especially since, I mean, you're not going to dwell on it forever. The only thing I could say is it must be hard for the co-workers of Owen Hart to have gone on to that show and continue to work. Because they probably weren't in the right frame of mind. That's the part that gets to me, is how they were able to go out there and perform like they did. Same thing with, Eddie Guerrero the night after. John Cena and Randy Orton in the main event. Randy Orton was still able to go on to his character, and it always amazed me, how could he do that when a guy in Eddie Guerrero just died? A guy who was supposedly as good-hearted as Owen was. Because Owen was noted to be this great and wonderful man. But I was wondering that because I watched the DVD, and of course many of the wrestlers had given their opinions on it, and half said yes, the show has to go on, or half said no. It's just interesting how things played out, where Vince continued on with the show and announced his death right there. But what's also interesting to this, I don't know if you know about this, but Martha Hart, who's Owen's wife, wants to completely Chris Benoit him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, she wants him to not be mentioned anymore.
And Brett even shares issues with this. Do you think that that's right for them to completely Chris Benoit Mr. Owen here?
I think if that's what the family wants.
It's not what the family wants, it's just what Martha wants.
Well, if it's what she wants, she's his wife, she's now his widow.
What about Brett? Because Brett feels the opposite.
Once you become married, you're the next person. The person that makes all the decisions for you is your significant other. That's just how it is.
Which is kind of sad, because it's a shame, because no one, if let's just say she succeeds in what she does, it's sad because I'm not the biggest Owen Hart fan, but I will admit he was a good worker, and he was a very entertaining guy, and it would be sad to see information go away on that, because he was very entertaining. But I thought to myself, this was a very interesting subject, especially since it's still talked about to this day, 11 years after it's happened. So pretty much the verdict is, emotionally, it wasn't the right thing to do, but business-wise, it is the right thing to do. So, I guess we can end that subject from there. And
Okay.
we can continue on that subject another time, if we can ever get back to it. But now, the second subject I want to get to, because I bet that's what you're anxious to talk about, is ROH Talent.
Okay, well, I'd like to say something first, because I don't know how many people on this channel also watch our videos. And I don't know if you saw the comment section, but like, I don't know. I'm almost to the point where I've decided I'm not fucking talking about anything other than WWE on my own goddamn channel. So if I talk about anything, if me or D talk about anything other than WWE, people lose their fucking mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I haven't seen your comment section, but I did see your thumbs up and thumbs down, and it was like, wow, what the fuck? I mean,
Fucking crazy.
the only problem I had with your video was that I wish you would have touched more on it.
Well, D thought up that idea, and we are going to use it for a different video. Paul wanted us to make a video to put it on his channel, and we were going to use it on that, but then D liked it so much that she wanted to put it on our channel. I said, fine, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's what happened.
Yeah, and I noticed all the comments there, and I saw one comment in particular by a certain guy, and I think you already know who I'm talking about.
I don't know. I haven't looked a lot at the comment section. I just know that people went fucking nuts.
Yeah, and
I read like maybe one comment, and then I saw that, and then D sent me a text message saying like she felt like taking the video down because of all the fucking ROH bots attacking us.
no, ROH Bots is supposed to be an ROH fan, or like a fan, like a die-hard fanboy of ROH.
Well, then I have no idea what these people were, because like fuck,
Trolls.
they were. Yeah, but we don't get any trolls on any of our other videos. If we talk about WWE, no trolls, just TNA and ROH.
Kristen, that's how everybody is. Everybody gets that same problem. I get that same problem. Truth Slayer suffers that same problem. If they mention ROH, how could you mention such promotions? It's like...
My thing is, which will segue into our discussion, is they're sitting there trying to convince me that, like, no, these guys gotta push.
Yeah, that's
they were used great.
Yeah, that's where I want to go with this. One particular comment, and I'm not speaking for Kristen. This is on my behalf. So I don't want her to. I don't want if this person wants to call me out, call me out. Don't call Kristen out. This is on my behalf. But this stupid fuck in Armon made a fucking comment saying that Daniel Bryan, got a great push because A, he was United States champion, and B, he's in a program with Cody Rhodes. Okay, let's touch up on the United States title right there. First off, did anybody even remember his U.S. title run?
I did, but like they didn't really do anything with it other than his little like backstage like who is he fucking
but that had
storyline that he did. It had nothing to do with the title.
Exactly. He didn't even. All right. He could have not been a champion. They could have still went with that whole him fucking the Bella Twins and him fucking Gail Kim. Okay, that title was meaningless.
The only reason he got the title was because it was the perfect end to feuding with Miz, who was the United States champion at the time.
And plus, it was to get the belt off of Miz so that they can, what's the word?
They could put him in the WWE title reign.
Exactly.
The title picture.
They wanted that title off of Miz so that they could give it to Daniel Bryan so that Miz could go off and do his thing, and it was to end that feud. Bada bing, okay? But while he was champion, he did nothing. In fact, his first match with Sheamus was a squash. He got Okay. Now, as far as this program with Cody Rhodes, this program that I'm looking at seems more of a way to put over Cody Rhodes than it is Daniel Bryan.
Can I add one thing?
Go
If
ahead.
if this program with Cody Rhodes is pushing him so much, why hasn't he talked yet?
Has he talked? I don't even think he has. No, he hasn't. I don't remember him talking.
Who's doing all the promos? Who's getting all the FaceTime?
Cody.
Oh,
In fact,
and Ted DiBiase.
yeah, Ted DiBiase at least spoke. I mean, Sin Cara is excusable because he's not supposed to talk. That's his gimmick. He's supposed to be. He has to have a
He has a
well,
mystique to him.
yes. He will probably he will probably talk in the near future.
Here, I'm gonna continue to talk. I'm gonna go look at some of the comments on.
Sure. But anyways, I wanted to touch up on this because I thought it was an interesting topic for Chris and D to bring up because they, unlike myself, are not the biggest Ring of Honor fans.
Hey, we're fans. We just never get it.
Well, I
It
offered,
doesn't come here.
well, hey, you had a chance in Atlanta, Georgia. I had a ticket, but you let MB take it. So there you go. Anyways, I remember you guys going to the Phoenix show, the first one, and I remember you guys enjoying it. And now they're with
Yeah.
Sinclair Broadcasting. In fact, they just put up a list of where it's going to be presented, and in fact, it's going to be in St. Louis. So
Awesome.
you'll be able to watch it. But
Yes. Oh, by the way, on a side note, I liked ROH. I just felt like it was a little long sometimes. Like when your show's been going on so long, and then you're like, "Oh my God, I'm so tired," and then it's like, "Oh, okay, all we have left's the main event." Oh wait, it's 45 fucking minutes long.
the other thing is that second show. Like, you weren't there for the second show the night after. Good thing you didn't go to that show. That felt even longer. And that wasn't Ring of Honor's fault. That was morely my fault because I was fucking tired as all hell. And I just could not stay awake for that show. I mean, even MB, who I was sitting next to at that show, had to wake me up at times because I was falling asleep. But,
Anyways, back to
yeah.
topic.
Anyways, so you were talking about Ring of Honor and the guys that come from Ring of Honor to the WWE and how they're not used right. And the first thing that came to mind when I saw that video is, you are right, but I don't think it's just Ring of Honor talent. I think it's just young talent in general. Because I remember they fucked over Carlito and they fucked over MVP, two guys who never like wrestled in Ring of Honor as far as I know. And they were talent that was considered to be the future. They fucked over the Pope, who was Elijah Burke in WWE. But yeah, Ring of Honor is one of the staples of just fucking over the talent. Like, for
Oh,
example,
holy shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I am now looking through all the negative comments because D only told me there was a lot of them, and I didn't really like look at them. They're from Armon, Boo Boo, and Human Killer, so never fucking mind.
yeah, there we go with Armand. He brought, like I said, he brought Daniel
Actually,
Bryan.
here's an Armon. Here's the Armon comment. Just so you know, what the fuck? Danielson is former United States champion and is feuding with Cody Rhodes. We already talked about it. That's fine for him at this time. He hasn't even been in WWE long. CM Punk has been used great even if he does leave WWE. Former multi-time world champion now feuding for the WWE title. Evan Bourne has definitely been used wrong for the most part, and the same with Low Key. That's what he gave me.
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember being like, wow, at least we're on the same page when it comes to Evan Bourne and Low-Key. But
And then Boo Boo and Human Killer are arguing about FCW.
or something like that. But anyways, going to CM Punk. Okay, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember CM Punk's first title run? His first world title run.
He cashed it in on Edge.
Yes.
Yes. Because it was after the draft, and what had happened was both of the titles were on were on SmackDown, and Edge was saying he's taking this title and Raw will never see it again. And then Batista beat him up, and then CM Punk came out and cashed it in.
Now, let me just say this for the record, because this is what annoys me. That first title run was garbage. CM Punk did not look any more credible than he did before.
Is that the title run where he lost it because he couldn't participate in the scramble match?
Yeah, because Randy Orton punted him in the head and said, "Now that was impressive," to Ted DiBiase, Cody Rhodes, and Manu. So, yeah, so CM Punk couldn't even lose it fairly. Alright? Not only that, I don't even remember him successfully defending it. That's
I'd
why.
hardly remember that title reign other than it happened.
So, then you have the fact that when he won Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 25, people booed.
Yes.
Because at that time, people had lost faith in Punk. I personally was not a Punk fan until he turned heel. I never cared for CM Punk when he was face. He just seemed eh. And plus, I had just gotten into Ring of Honor at that point, so I didn't really see CM Punk's Ring of Honor career all that well. So, once he turned heel, I became a big fan of him, especially when he was feuding with Jeff Hardy. But that's just it. His feud with Jeff Hardy, they tried, and then at Hell in a Cell, he lost the title in the first match on that card to The Undertaker. All because he pointed out a contradiction in the fact that Undertaker told him to dress more appropriately, and he said, well, what about John Cena? And the funny thing is, I never heard once that The Undertaker made a big stink about this. It was everybody else who was saying, oh my God, how could CM Punk talk to a veteran like that? So, it boggles my mind to no end. But anyways, back to point. CM Punk has not been used properly. From Extreme Rules 2010 to Capital Punishment 2011, he had not won a fucking pay-per-view match.
And he's been stuck with... He got his own stable there for a while.
Straight.
The only time I really remember them was their little feud with Rey Mysterio, which I feel like at WrestleMania they should have won, and Rey Mysterio should have been forced to join Straight Edge Society.
Yeah.
But then, like, they lost, and then they kept trying to feud with him, and then it was a mask versus hair, and, like, they shaved CM Punk, and it was just stupid.
Yeah. So, it boils down to the fact that it's not CM Punk in a faction that sucks, it's the way they book him.
And if anyone says he got an ECW title reign, can go fuck themselves. ECW doesn't count.
Yeah, ECW
Ask Christian.
Yeah, to these supposed people that are like going crazy because of his 2-day world title run. Oh, well then, I guess the ECW title should count for something because he held it for like 6-7 months.
Longest ECW title reign while they were with WWE.
Yeah, so, but anyways, going back to CM Punk, he fucking got used piss poorly with the new Nexus even. So
On an upside note, sorry to interrupt again. I know we keep branching out.
Yeah.
New Nexus is going to be dead after CM Punk leaves. They're starting to pair everyone off. Well, really, the only one that's left is McGillicuddy and Otunga because
Mason Ryan's hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nextista is hurt.
Yeah, Batista too. Fuck him.
I guess I can't call him Nextista anymore since Nexus will be gone.
Okay, Batista too. That's
I liked Nextista.
Fuck that shit. He was always Batista too. So, but going back to Ring of Honor, because we'll get to Punk and the whole Punk situation afterwards. But going back to Ring of Honor talent, who else have they signed? They signed Evan Bourne. Low-key was with TNA for a good period, so... yeah, alright. Evan Bourne, Low-key, Colt Cabana, who else have they brought up? CM Punk, they just acquired Seth Rollins, who is Tyler Black. They're about to acquire Claudio Castagnoli. You probably don't remember him. He's the big dude, the bald dude from Switzerland.
Okay.
Who else did they acquire from Ring of Honor? Paul London, Brian Kendrick.
Yeah. Two people. Actually, Brian Kendrick was used well for a while. And then for a little bit.
Very little. That was when he was starting to do the Brian Kendrick gimmick. And then at the scramble match that he was in, which could have easily put him over, Triple H made him look like shit. Made him look like he didn't belong in the ring with him.
Anyways,
Yeah.
we keep branching off.
No, no, no. We're talking about Ring of Honor talent that were destroyed. That were not used properly. Brian Kendrick, Paul London. Paul London, I could not understand that one.
After they broke up him and Brian Kendrick, it was just over.
It was over before that because Paul London, on 2 occasions, got in trouble. One was he did some sort, like, he was on the apron and he ran and did a shooting star press on one of the tag teams. It was either Trevor Murdoch and Lance Cade or Deuce and Domino. I can't remember which, but he did a shooting star press, a running shooting star press, kind of like what...
and no one's fucking allowed to do that except Evan Bourne right now.
Uh-huh. And the other occasion was, I don't think you were watching at this point, but it was the segment where Vince McMahon's limo blew up. Right before Vince walked to his limo, there was a bunch of wrestlers lined up watching him, and apparently Paul London smiled. You could vaguely see it, but you could kind of see Paul London smiling. That got him into trouble. What the fuck? Something so minor that we couldn't even see, he got fucked over, okay? It's ridiculous. Paul London, to me, was so underrated as a talent. The only thing he had to improve was, like, his mic skills to give him some more personality. In-ring-wise, the guy was fantastic. But, anyways, so that's 2 talents down. Low-key, with Season 2 of NXT, and what do they do from there? Nothing.
They have him cash it in on an Intercontinental title shot.
With Dolph Ziggler, who could have helped get Low-key over, because Dolph Ziggler was with a heat magnet already.
Which I will say he did ask for his release.
Yeah, because they had nothing for him. That's what I've heard. Then again,
I hope that this is not the trend with these guys now. That they're just like, fuck it, there's just nothing else for me to do.
That's probably what they're thinking. That's how I see it. But anyways, Colt Cabana, all right, I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's one I completely can't understand. All right, Colt Cabana is a comedy character, but he's a comedy character within taste. He doesn't, I mean, there are times he'll do 1 or 2 things that, okay, that's suggestive. But Colt Cabana is so freaking hilarious to us adults. Just imagine for the kids. And like I said, he is within the PG lines of his comedy. He could easily get kids laughing, like Santino. He could have gotten the kids on his side. No world titles, maybe a mid-card title, but he could have easily gotten over with the kids. Easily. And that's just one I can't understand. But,
by the way, buy $5 Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Highspots.com.
We were there live. And
it was awesome.
I saw your written review on it, by the way. Anyways. Yeah. And the last one, because we talked about Punk, Evan Bourne, I'm going to let you talk about that one, because you're the bigger fan.
Evan Bourne, man, he could be your next little, like, Rey Mysterio. Everyone loves the little high flyer guys. Everyone roots for the damn little guys because they're the underdogs. That's Rey Mysterio's entire gimmick. Although I still say to this day, how many world championships do you have to win before you're no longer the underdog? Anyways, he could do all of this crazy, phenomenal stuff, and they don't even use him. They just use him as a squash match. Every time. Every time. He even, like, slightly got buried to Sin Cara.
What makes you say that?
Because most of the offense was Sin Cara, and it looked like they made it, the way that the match was done, it made it look like Evan Bourne's like, holy shit, I can do all this high-flying shit, but I can't handle it when someone else does it. If you're a high flyer, you should know other high flyers' weaknesses. I'm just saying.
I'd have to watch that
He looked really, like, frazzled. Like, at one point, he slid out of the ring, and he's just kind of holding his head like he doesn't understand what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I'd have to watch that match again, because...
Although, you may not be able to see it with Sin Cara's funky-ass lights.
Yeah. For some reason, every Sin Cara match has to have those goofy lights. But, yeah, Evan Bourne, you were talking.
And I mean, I'd like to say he's great on the mic. I didn't watch him in ROH, so I don't know. And he doesn't talk in WWE. Every time I hear him talk, I go, "Holy shit, he can talk!"
He does have a voice, ladies and gentlemen! We discovered this Monday.
I mean, granted, he had to say stupid ass lame lines like, "Yeah, get him, Charge."
Yeah, but... mhm. But, my... I
But
don't
his
know...
match with Chris Jericho, come on,
Yeah, he's a
great
very,
match.
very talented performer. I don't remember him as Matt Sydal being a great mic worker. I think he got over in the same way that he tries to get over now, is that he's a small guy, but he could do all these crazy things that a big man normally can't do. So that's pretty much Evan Bourne's gimmick even in the indies. But you got to figure the indies people will accept that gimmick more.
He does stuff that no one else on that roster is allowed to do.
Yeah.
And yet they just squash him. Granted, I love the shooting star KO when he went up against Randy Orton.
I mean, as of recent, they've given him a program with Jack Swagger, which, from what I've heard, this is just hearsay. The only reason that this is happening is to give Evan Bourne some momentum going into Money in the Bank, seeing as he is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So
He's not going to win.
obviously not. Alberto Del Rio's going to win. That's the obvious choice.
I'd like Miz to win, but since he's feuding with Riley, it's not going to happen.
I want either Miz, only because I'm biased, or R-Truth to win. Because, I don't know. Maybe
I don't know. Granted, I'm tired of seeing R-Truth go for the WWE title. I'm already bored.
What? How could you already be bored?
I'm already bored.
He created the greatest name for children. Little Jimmies. That is great. That is greatness personified.
Moving on. The whole point of this thing is like the video that T and I made was supposed to be kind of like a joke because at some point we said like we think it's a conspiracy against ROH. WWE hires their top guys and then didn't do shit with them. They get so annoyed that they ask for their release, but that whole time they can't wrestle in ROH, and then like what, 30, 60 days, 30 or 90 days after that, they still can't wrestle for ROH.
Well, no, they can wrestle for ROH if it's not televised. But but they can't do it if it's on internet pay-per-view or if, like we were just talking about, they're on Sinclair Broadcasting. They can't do that now. But they can wrestle if it's just for a DVD release. Because that's how Daniels... No, wait, never mind. Daniels was working for a company that doesn't have that policy. But anyways, yeah, that's their whole thing. That's why Kennedy didn't come to TNA until like 4 months after he was released. Same thing with, who else? Fucking Brian Kendrick. There was a couple of other talents in 09. Oh! Matt Hardy. But,
Fuck Fat Hardy.
no, Fat Lardy. That's his name. So, we talked about Ring of Honor talents. It is strange how they don't use them right. And it's funny because Jim Ross has said that they should use Ring of Honor, WWE should use Ring of Honor like their talent pool, like kind of like their developmental system. They look at these guys and say, okay, we want this guy because he's that good. And the one guy that they've looked at that they want to bring in is Chris Hero. If they fuck up Chris Hero, then WWE is too inept on creating stars. The motherfucker's got everything that they want in a fucking star. He's 6'5". He's 200 some odd pounds. He's awesome in the ring. He's awesome on the mic. What more do you fucking want?
They want... I was going to make a funny joke and lost it. Sorry.
Alright, the only thing Chris Hero doesn't have is that he's not Batiste 2 and he's jacked. He's built, but he's not like fucking ripped. Okay? Chris Hero has talent. And if
Can you make the little kids cheer for him?
He can make the little Jimmy's boo for him. So, I don't know. Someone said, I think my friend John said this, if CM Punk decides to stay, Chris Hero should be with him to get him over. to get Chris Hero.
CM Punk is not staying.
No. Unless he wins that WWE title, maybe.
I don't
Uh,
think he's staying then.
then he can bring it to New Japan.
Cause
Or
all I've heard is that he's burned out. He's burned out. He just wants to chill and just not do anything, and I don't
what?
blame him.
Well, I've also heard that when they tried to renegotiate, one of his demands was to bring Colt Cabana back on the main roster. That was one of his demands, because him and Colt are real tight friends. So, anyhow, I guess the point of this is WWE does not know how to push fucking Ring of Honor talent. Some of it I can understand. Like, if Tyler goes into WWE, I can probably understand why they drop a ball with him, only because he's pretty bad on the mic. And, yeah, that's the only thing I could see. But if they fuck up Chris Hero, they really need to get their heads out of their asses.
They're already fucking up Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. I mean, Claudio, alright, I just mentioned to you Claudio. I see Claudio as being an over-the-top guy from Switzerland. They're going to really, like, put that over the top. That's
Gonna
how
come out with the Swiss flag and everything.
Yeah, and then...
Him and Kozlov and Santino should form a stable.
Team Apple! They are reuniting!
No, it'd have to be like some international something.
Okay, let's see. Vladimir Kozlov, William Regal, Santino, fucking Claudio, Drew McIntyre, Wade Barrett.
No, those two guys are too serious. Just those four.
Well,
And then William Regal could just look at them like I'm with a bunch of idiots.
Well, hold up. Drew McIntyre's not doing anything. You might as well give him something to do. He could be with the jokes. So, anyhow, that's Ring of Honor talent right there. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, it's just I don't know. I got nothing.
It's like you bring in this talent and then you do nothing with them. That's strange. But anyways, going on.
It's a conspiracy. C-O-N conspiracy.
Conspiracy. Fucking these little and big Jimmies. I can't stand them. Anyways, no wait. I was just about to say speaking of which, but that has nothing to do with what we're going to talk about. I guess the last thing is
Bad segue. Bad segue.
I should now slap myself, but fucking
You should.
Pow. Okay, there you go. CM Punk. Back to him, because that's our third topic. And it's a follow-up. Basically the Raw that after the whole promo thing. A lot of people have actually been saying that the Raw was terrible, or the follow-up was terrible.
I didn't like the follow-up either. I think it totally, like, because last week was it a work? What wasn't it? What did he just like fly off the handle? Watch the last crack skulls. I totally thought it was legit. Totally thought he flew off the handle. I'm glad it was. I'm glad I'm wrong, and that they totally planned that sort of. But like. Then the next week, they just followed it up with saying, I want to face Punk. Why did you get rid of Punk? And I'm like, wow, totally big as a work. Oh, and if you haven't read, they're turning Punk babyface for the last couple of days he's in the company. Because he did a show in Australia, and basically he came out and like put John Cena over, and that he's like awesome and like John gets it and blah blah blah, and then John Cena did a little thing where he put CM Punk over and they both shook hands and shit.
Well, this was a house show, right?
Yeah, but it shows that they may do it because they want him to be cheered in his hometown.
Well, he's going to be cheered regardless, no matter what, because CM Punk and Chicago, it's just infamous. Chicago has a big wrestling fan base there, and CM Punk is their hometown hero. So no matter what they do with him, he's going to be cheered regardless. So, but onto what you were saying about the house show. To me, I wouldn't worry about that just yet, only because when Cena was fired, he was doing that whole Juan Cena gimmick, but that never aired on TV. That was only made for house shows. So I wouldn't worry just yet. Wait and see where that goes. But as far as the the only problem I had with Raw was if it was since it's WWE, they pretty much gave away the fact that Cena was going to win. It was just a clear segue
Yes.
that
Although
was
I
my
thought
problem.
I knew Cena was going to win anyways, because I still don't think he's giving up the title till I think he's keeping the title till after Mania.
Now, if WWE really wanted to swerve us, and if you are right, Kristen, in that CM Punk is going face, what they could do is have Cena go heel and join Vince McMahon in saying, that's right, I did what I did to stay on top, and I'm still on top to this day. Which is not going to happen because Cena's their
Why
top
would
guy.
they do that?
They need the little Jimmies to be happy. Fuck you, you little Jimmies. You're ruining my product. Anyways, they need to cater to his fan base, which is the casual fans, the kids, and it's tough for me to say kids because I even see adults who are just casual fans with Cena shirts. So it's really tough to say. But going on to that, the only problem I had with Raw was the fact that hey, Cena was giving away the fact, or they gave away the fact that pretty much Cena was going to walk away with the belt. And if
I
he's
didn't
not,
have a doubt in my mind, but that was just me.
people keep saying, I mean, Vince's exact words were, if CM Punk leaves the building with the belt, then you're fired.
So, like my predictions was, one of two things is going to happen. They are going to Punk's going to win, and then whoever wins Money in the Bank is cashing it in. Which, if it's Del Rio, would be a perfect way for them to have John Cena have someone else another heel to feud with.
mhm. Now, as far as where was I going with this? As far as CM Punk, if he does stay, like let's just say for shits and giggles that WWE was able to work us and that CM Punk is staying and he's got the belt. My only issue with that shoot promo thing, is that shoot promo, and this pretty much goes back to what I read with Brian Alvarez's article. I have to give full credit to him because he made a really good point on this. He said pretty much that the only part that doesn't really make sense in this, if he is still with the company afterwards, is that he made that rant because he can't stand the working environment of WWE. He can't stand being there because he can't stand the bullshit backstage. Why would you want to resign with the company that you can't stand? That kind of like boils down to, yeah, CM Punk's on his way out. So if he is still with the company, because that's the only reason I could see them wanting him to shoot that promo, is the fact that, yeah, he is leaving, or he was leaving, and we're going to do whatever it takes for him to stay, so we'll let him say what he wants. So, personally, to me, I don't see this going anywhere, this angle, per se. I just see it as, we, for a week, were able to say to ourselves, was that a work or was that a shoot? Because like people like X-Pac have said, oh, well, you should just enjoy for what it was. But the whole enjoyment of things like that shoot promo, was us trying to decipher whether it was real or not.
Wondering what was going to happen afterwards, if it was real or if it wasn't. Especially if it wasn't, what were they going to do?
Yeah, the
Because
whole
why would they just start something like that and have no reason to do anything with it?
that was the whole fun of that promo, was us wondering where does it go from here. That was, I mean, in a different degree, that's where we were with Nexus when they first started, when they first invaded. I mean, we didn't say to ourselves, obviously it was scripted, but we were saying to ourselves, holy shit, how can they follow up with this? Where are they going to go with this? What is this going to be? And why did they do this? How could they do this? When you have stuff like that, it makes it more fun. Like Al said, that's why we're wrestling fans, is when things like that happen, it gets us talking. And TNA, you should learn from this. One thing WWE does well is that they don't do this shit every time. They do the usual predictable stuff, and then once in a while they pull the rabbit out of their hat because it makes it that much more important. Because when you start doing this every time, then nobody's going to remember, nobody's going to give a shit. But when you do your little predictable stuff and then you have something like CM Punk cutting a promo, then it means more and everyone's like, oh shit. So, I thought the promo was great, but the follow-up obviously isn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I did not like the if he walks out with the belt, then you're fired. Because it's like Cena. Like I said, I already knew Cena was keeping the title because I'm still thoroughly convinced that he's keeping the title till Mania. Hell, I don't think they're gonna. Actually, before I say that, I was gonna say I don't think they're gonna give it to The Rock, but who the fuck knows?
Who knows? I mean, if The Rock is considering coming back full time, that'd be a little bit strange. Because it's like you're making $20 million on one fucking Disney film. Why the fuck do you want to wrestle and risk your fucking well-being when you could go off making a Disney film with all that money, especially since you've accomplished everything?
Actually, my problem with that would be that then WWE is still not making new talent. They're relying on old talent to keep them afloat.
Problem is,
And when Cena and Orton inevitably, like Orton's got a kid. Maybe Orton wants to spend more time with his kid. Cena's gotten married. Maybe he's gonna have a kid. Maybe when he has a kid, he wants to spend time with his kid. No one else is gonna be left.
well, how about a more I mean, yeah, you're right. But how about an even more unpredictable thing? Let's just say they still want to work for WWE, but Cena and Orton inevitably get hurt, and they have to take time off. Who do you put in the main event then?
Cena is hurt right now.
Yeah,
So
apparently.
really it's hurtful to Cena, one of your top guys, the fact you don't have anyone to take the reins while he's healing.
Yeah, it's strange how they're going about this, and that's probably why Punk got pissed off at the whole Rock situation. I mean, part of it is the fans' fault in that regard because apparently when Rock came back to do that whole program going into WrestleMania, business went fucking booming. Like, ratings were going up, and WrestleMania accomplished what Vince wanted it to accomplish, which was to get at least 1 million buys. And it got 1 million buys. At least, it wasn't completely over 1 million buys, but it at least hit a little bit over the peak of 1 million buys. And now that Rock is no longer in a program, now that Rock is going back doing his movie thing, business is back to where it is. It's in the usual position that it's in. And the fact that all Rock has to do is show up and he's got the main event of WrestleMania is... I mean, granted, I want to see Rock and Cena, but Punk's got a point. Punk busts his ass, and what is
He's there. He travels every day, 365 days a year, however many days they travel, fucking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He busts his ass every show. And then Rock just gets to... When was the last time we saw Rock?
Before February?
So we haven't seen him in quite a while now.
Wait,
When do you think the next... When was... Because they announced the Cena Rock match.
Yeah,
When was the last time we saw Rock promoting the match?
Oh, you mean promoting them? Oh, him and Cena. I don't even think he ever did.
He is in a WrestleMania main event. And we haven't even heard him talk about it since the match was made.
Not that I can recall. Maybe he has, and I just haven't heard about it. But as far as I know, no, he hasn't. And
he hasn't even bothered to make a via satellite.
Well, that I kind of figured was going to happen when they announced, oh, WrestleMania 28, we're going to main event. I kind of figured that, yeah, there's going to be a period where Rock's not going to be there. And there'll be periods where Rock will show up here and there to remind everybody, oh yeah, WrestleMania 28, the main event, Cena and Rock. But,
I'm saying it would probably piss people off. Just like, I mean, granted this is not to the same extent, but it made me mad when it was Snooki and Trish Stratus and John Morrison versus Lay Cool and Dolph Ziggler. Okay, as much as I did not like Lay Cool, they were on every show. They did their matches. They were there. They were traveling. They were fucking there. Trish and Snooki? barely on the show. Like Trish can get a spot because she is a veteran, but Snooki, you have Snooki wrestle and you don't even have your Divas champion on the card.
Who was Divas champion at that time?
Eve Torres,
Wow, that just
who
shows.
was who was well in the Diva world pretty over.
Yeah, that's how bad they promote their teams. Because I couldn't even remember at that point who was champion. Jesus Christ.
They
Yeah,
don't even have the Divas champion on the WrestleMania card, but Snooki is gonna wrestle.
all right. Granted, Snooki didn't do too bad. She actually
She did
performed.
too. She didn't do too bad. I mean, granted, not she did relatively good considering the fact that we thought that it was going to be a complete clusterfuck. So if it was slightly above clusterfuck, it would have been pretty good.
Oh yeah. I mean, what did she do? Like that Kelly thing where she did the little cartwheel and
Cartwheel
back.
elbow to the back, and then she did a cartwheel, uh, cartwheel splash of some kind.
Yeah, I mean, there's only been two other performers outside of wrestling that performed well in their program. One would be Mike Tyson. He did very well in his program, and the other one would be Kevin Federline. And I don't like Kevin Federline, but in the program that he was put in, he did excellent. And Snooki did excellent in her little program where she was trying to put over the match, but yeah, like you said, a celebrity gets a fucking spot on the pay-per-view, and yet here's these other guys like who wasn't on the card? Daniel Bryan, who was supposed to be on the card.
He was on the card. He was just the dark match.
Yeah, he was in a
Clusterfuck of a dark match.
he was in the dark match. Come on, fucking Mr. Violence needed to be on TV.
It was him versus Sheamus. Sheamus was United States champion, and then what was it? Sheamus DQ'd himself or something, and then Teddy Long's like, "We're gonna add the Lumberjacks in." And then, like, he never announced that it wasn't for the title, because then, like, Great Khali won, and we were like, is he U.S. champion now? He doesn't have the title.
Fucking Krusty Krab. Fuck that shit. That, that's
What were we talking about?
We were talking about CM Punk and his program. And we went from CM Punk and his program to The Rock to WrestleMania to Snooki. How did we get to Snooki?
Oh, because I was using that as an example of how, like, some, like, Rock just basically, like, he shows up one time, gets
Okay,
a title, gets a main event match at WrestleMania instead of all of these guys that are, like, going on the road every night.
yeah. I mean,
And he is yet to show up at all, and I was using the Divas title as a sort of example.
granted, like you said, Rock's a veteran. He is a veteran. He's paid his dues. He along with Steve Austin carried the Attitude Era. But like you were just saying, if you're bringing Rock back, it just proves you can't make anybody. You got to use The Rock to get views. I mean, I don't know.
They pulled it out at Mania. Rock hosted WrestleMania. Steve Austin was a referee in a match, and Trish Stratus was in a match.
Yeah, and I mean the one good thing was Cody Rhodes went over Ray. Okay, Edge is now retired, unfortunately. Miz went over, and it was going good until The Rock beat him up. Okay.
On a total side note again, if all they had to do, you know what troubles me about The Miz, actually?
Uh-oh, here we go.
Sorry. What troubles me about The Miz is the fact that they've made him look weak and shitty, like, this entire time. But then they go out and make that awesome fucking video package that people still fucking talk about. That You Can Hate Me Now.
Yeah, from Nas.
Yes, that video package that everybody was like, fucking amazing video package. So what blows my mind is that WWE can compile footage for Miz and make a video package that makes him look like a fucking god. of wrestling, like that you should fear him, and yet they can't book him to look like that video package that they made.
What troubles me further is not even just that, is the fact that, okay, they'll have him go in a match with John Cena, a single one-on-one match with John Cena, have him kick out of John Cena's FU, which is like prohibited to any other wrestler, but they'll allow Miz to do it, okay? But yet now, with all due respect, is jobbing to Alex Riley. I mean, if you want someone to job to Alex Riley, or put over Alex Riley, it should be somebody who's already established. And it's like, I mean, veterans have this problem when we ask them to put young talent over. We're not asking you to lose the match. At least not me. I'm not asking you to lose the match.
We're not asking you to job to them either.
We're asking you to take this guy and just make him look better in the eyes
Make
of
him
the
look
fans.
like he can compete with you.
Yeah, he could lose to you. I don't mind if Alex Riley goes out there with fucking Randy Orton or some shit like that. They go for 20 minutes. He kicks out of maybe one RKO, and he does his finisher to Orton, and Orton kicks out, they keep going, and then Orton hits another RKO and wins. You still put the guy over because it took you not one, but two RKOs to take him down.
So easy for someone like Triple H. How many times has he won the title, Triple H? Like
14 times.
20 million? 14. Okay.
14 million, that's what I meant to say, but go on.
Anyways, if somebody could say someone like The Miz, who right now is looking like a little bit of a veg, really. If someone like The Miz kicks out of a pedigree, just one, kicks out of a pedigree, you're like, holy shit, he kicked out of the pedigree. And all of us are like, holy shit, he kicked out of a pedigree, because no one kicks out of a pedigree except Undertaker.
3 times. At WrestleMania. And his
So
own.
like, even if you give him one pedigree, and then he kicks out, and then you just give him another pedigree, and then you win, still make The Miz look awesome. But can they do it? Fucking no.
I mean, they did it with Cena, and they made him kick out of the FU, but the problem was, go look at, what pay-per-view was it where they had that I Quit match? Over the Limit?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a monstrosity.
I mean, the first 20 minutes of that match where Miz was completely decimating Cena, that was brilliant. It was brilliant storytelling. It wasn't until Miz did that whole cheating I Quit thing, and then they said restart the match, and then it took Cena 2 minutes to chase him out with a fucking belt, put the STF on him, and then have Miz say I quit.
See, that's where you and I differ. As soon as I saw basically Miz was like, there's no disqualifications, and he had Alex Riley help him.
Oh no, I knew that.
I'm
too.
like, it's already I'm like, it's already an I Quit match. It's already so stacked. And then you have Alex Riley help him. They beat him down for 20 minutes. They have to use the little like fake I Quit thing, and still Cena beats him in like 2 minutes. It was the whole thing that was ridiculous. Not just the ending. By the way, we've changed topics. We're talking about The Miz now, guys.
Yeah. Now, I felt that if you were going to really put Miz over, we're talking about like realistically, in a sense that when you have a guy like Miz and he's got a partner in Alex Riley, of course he's going to take every advantage to beat the shit out of him and try and win that title. Which, again, it made sense within context, but like you said, looking at it, knowing WWE, you knew Cena was just going to overcome it, no matter what. I mean, they can't have Cena lose once. And that's what bothers me about it. And it seems like with Miz, when they take one step forward and getting us to say, oh, Miz looked good, he kicked out an FU, they take 2 steps back. That's what aggravates me. It's like they can't seem to go straight forward. Okay, we took 1 step. We might have to take a step back here and there to make sure he doesn't look too dominant, but hey, we'll just go slow, see where it goes from there. No, they can't do that. That's what my problem is. And we've rambled on long enough, I think.
An hour and 2 minutes.
Yeah, mine thinks that's 59 minutes, but then again, I started recording 59 minutes ago, and which will be an hour. And Al, you still suck. So, anyways, we have finished a Crack Skulls without Al.
And we proved Al wrong.
So, Al, go fuck yourself.
Apparently, I don't know. Steve told me something about proving Al wrong.
Al believed that we would not upload a Crack Skulls until he got back from vacation.
Well, that would be a reasonable assumption since he's usually the one that's like, hey, want to do a Crack Skulls?
No, the last one was my decision.
Oh, okay.
The last one I wanted to do because you and I were marking out like fuck when CM Punk.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
You forget everything.
It feels so long ago.
That was a week and a half ago, maybe, I think. But anyways, that's our little Crack Skulls. We talked more than what we thought we were going to talk about. So,
I don't know how we started talking about The Miz.
something about WrestleMania. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. I'm not going to wrap my mind around it. Anyways, this is Crack Skulls episode 9 or 9-2, 9-3. I don't care. Whatever you want to call this. I am Monoxide.
And I'm Kristen.
Yeah.
Last I checked. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Last I checked, my birth certificate said Monoxide. Maybe. Anyways, so take care, everybody, and go fuck yourselves.
Bye, guys.
You're too nice.